All right. Hello, Magic Monsters. Welcome to the stream. Well, what a day. I've been sitting, aside from when I had a meeting earlier and aside from when I went out for a walk, I've been sitting topless pretty much all day long in my underwear. I've got shorts on now, but I ran out of tank tops. And it's like 100 and fire degrees outside. And inside, it's not much cooler. But I'm drinking hot coffee. All right, so I'm hoping that this uploading in the background will not cause an issue with the stream itself. I don't think it will, but as you can see here, I'm uploading to the asset store a brand new package of generated icons that I've been working on over the past couple weeks. This is part of the reason why I haven't been sleeping enough, but I've been getting better at getting very specific things out of it, and so I'm uploading to the asset store for those who want lots of pre-made icons, or in this case they could also be used for backgrounds or placeholder art or anything you'd like for that. So there we go. So I also didn't get to set stuff up because I've been working all day aside from my one walk. Turns out my new boss needed help with stuff, and to do that help I've had to recreate a whole lot of data at the office, at the day job. Do I like these side by side, or do I like these on top of each other? I think I like these side by side. All right. So I've got to install the project for the one person watching. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for liking and subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. I imagine you have, though. 2 people watch it. Excellent. Welcome. So now Unity crashed on me. So because apparently moving Windows is enough to make Unity crash in this case. So let's load up that again. I've got get from the package manager the game modules because I'm creating this in a new project because I want this to be a standalone thing similar to the last tutorial. I will include it as a Unity package in the project. But yeah. Hello, Shadowed Soul Studios. Yeah, GUI elements are hard. I saw on YouTube one of the, really, I think they're kind of like evangelists for the stuff for the Midjourney, talking about making sprite sheets as a prompt, and I was like, that's okay, but that's not what blinking makes it crash. Don't tell Blink that. That's not, getting sprite sheets out of Midjourney is not the same as making sprite sheets. It's like, yeah, you get a bunch of random, maybe 8-bit art, but it's not. First of all, it's not 8-bit art because it's probably generated, so blended. But yeah, it's not the same. Anyways, package my assets. We're looking for game modules. So I'm sorry I didn't preset this up, but it's just the way it was. I was making a slide deck, a slide showing a graph showing trends over time when it comes to, what? All right, starting Unity again. It's clearly having issues. They totally are. I actually in the new package I'll show a preview because I've been making a lot. And the thing is, this is one of those things that I'm happy with the quality level, but I know that even the stuff I produced, this morning, I tried out some new things, some new ideas, and I got better results. And I'm like, well, I think that's going to be par for the course. I'm always just going to get better. So I'm going to have to be okay with all that. So let's see. Where am I looking for? I'm looking for asset store work. I'm looking for icons AI, epic fantasy, magic spell. So I'm going to show the JPEG ones. So Yeah. These are, I have this whole series, which is just, I think, going to be good for icons, for magic spell icons. Like, you know, fill in the blank on what they are. You can fill that in, but there are some cool ideas here, and I want to expand on this even more. There's some fire, there's some lightning, there's some ice. I think this one's actually supposed to be ice, but, you know, rainbow and colorful things and all this fun stuff. So I think this will be a good option for that. And I've also been making borders. This is, I haven't used these yet, but I've made these are all generated as well, but I've made these borders, which I think could be really neat to use in Unity, as well as just fun little borders. So I just, you know, photoshopped these last night, and we'll see what they look like in the end. I thought this one would be cool. I don't know how, but to make these different colors, to indicate different things or something. But yeah, that's the epic fantasy. There's a whole bunch of things. The reason why I have to, so I like lossless JPEGs. It looks better than, or lossless PNGs than JPEGs. Technically, I mean, I think the human eye, I can't tell the difference, honestly. But PNG is better, but they're also much bigger. This one's actually small. This one should be bigger. Yeah, so these are 15 megabytes. They're 4K images. It's very big. Obviously, as it's generated, there's, you know, if you look at it close up, then it looks less real. But if you use it like this, then it looks almost photorealistic. So there's that. And then, but the problem is with the JPEG one, you know, it's 837K. In fact, if we load up this and we load up this one side by side, can we tell the difference? Can our human eyes tell the difference? Now, you guys are going to be watching with a stream buffer too, so I mean, no, probably not. I can't tell the difference, if I'm honest, and I try to be. But it is what it is, because the asset store doesn't allow JPEGs, and another marketplace I sell on, the Game Crafter, which is for board game developers, doesn't allow large file sizes for some reason, and they're like, compress the hell out of them, and I'm like, dude, or make them smaller resolution. I'm like, people are gonna be printing these out for making board games, and you want them smaller resolution or compressed. But hey, I compressed it. Rules are rules. And so we're getting these on itch.io as well. Itch.io, by the way, side note for everybody, anyone who's using Unreal, the Unreal marketplace is hard to get stuff on. They have rules that don't seem to apply to other markets, such as, hey, all humanoids, even if they're not humanoids, need to have a run and a jump. And if they don't have a run and a jump, they won't accept it on the store. So I think our Metal Ghost Knight doesn't have a run and a jump, so they won't accept it until we add that. So it's on itch. You can buy it on itch. You can buy the Unreal version on itch. But I don't know if they'll accept these because of the artifacts. With the watercolor one, I think they accepted them, but they called out a few of them where it just looked kind of funny. And like here, I mean, this one looks kind of funny. His lips are all kind of effed up, right? But if you bring it like this, it looks perfectly fine. These aren't intended to be used at full resolution. They're intended to be used at like quarter resolution. But who knows? And, you know, the way I see it, if somebody wants to use this as a background image and they're okay with this painterly look, great, because it's obviously generated. You can tell that when you look at it. But when you make it smaller and you use it as like a location thing, it looks like a real picture or a painting. Anyways, that's my rant. Let's see if the package manager works now. Package manager. You know, I've never understood exactly how Unreal gets stuff into their projects. Like, we can export the project and then, yeah, our night woes. My assets. There are no assets. Why is this error gain auth code? Oh my God, it's hot in here. I'm in California, and I'm about to take off my pants. I'm sitting in my shorts now because I don't know if you've been reading the news, but California has a lot of people, and the state's super hot right now. And because the state's super hot with like 38 million people or something, everyone wants to have their air conditioner on, which makes sense. I do too. But we've been asked to not do that because power consumption, and that starts fires, and there's a lot of fires. In fact, I saw one the other day. I was driving from Los Angeles to the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was driving over what they call the Grapevine, for those of you who know it, and then all of a sudden, I look over and there's a fire. There's actually two fires on either side of a little ravine. One on one side was very smoky. The other one on the other side was a smaller fire, but it was very clear it was on the base of a power line, and the line, one of the lines, was now on the ground, or an end of it was on the ground. So it must have snapped in the heat, and well, this ruins my day. Yeah, so I guess I can't install it. I'm getting demoralized. Do I really want to do it right now? I can bring it in this way, I suppose. Hunger system. Package manager must be down for now. 6 and 5 viewers. Thanks for coming. I hope I don't bore you with my coffee slurps. All right, so I guess I can just export this whole thing into a Unity package. We'll say export, and then quit. And this is faster than package manager, I suppose. Assets, import custom package. Import that. There we go. No, I don't. Takes up space is the problem. Plus, what am I going to do with it? But I do export them when I need it, like this. This always scares people. Every once in a while I see people will say, like, there's an error with the package. I'm like, not an issue. Clear it out. It's fine. All right. So what are we doing here? I did not pre-plan at all, and that is, you know, blame the day job, because that's what I was doing most of the day. I didn't even check my email or my Slack messages. Hey, Game Dev Therapy. Hey, Elliot, Franford. How are you both? Maybe I'd have to do that with the services. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's Friday night, or if you're in Europe, Friday morning, or if you're in another part of the world, Saturday. I guess Saturday morning I meant. But yeah, I have not checked my email today. And where are my Slacks? And I think I owe some people. I'm going to have to do some work tonight after this. That sucks. Oh well. Luckily I have no life. Let's see. What am I doing? Demo tutorials. Hunger system. So we're going to start by preface what I'm actually doing here. I'm going to redo this all later and record a video of me redoing it later, like I did with the hunger system, and produce that as a video. Hopefully I'll get to that this weekend. We'll see. I've got other stuff I need to do too, like work, unfortunately. And so for now what we're doing is I'm going to import this, and we're going to use this as a jumping off point, but I don't want this to use the exact same stuff. Instead, we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this item, we'll call it number 2, because it's the 2 in order. Item equipping. And I'm going to rename, it doesn't matter if I rename that, it's not going to, you know, fuck, screw the true. Am I allowed to swear? I think I'm allowed to swear, but I don't know these things. I'm going to duplicate stuff rather than copying them over, because I want new GUIDs for these. And I'm going to replace these right now. Replace this one. Man, I haven't seen Top Gun 2 yet. Kind of disappointed about that. Oh, I did see the new Lord of the Rings, though. The 2 shows, the 2 episodes they released. And I have to say, this is what I think. I think that they are doing it differently than Peter Jackson ones. And I'm not talking about the races of people. I don't care about that. In fact, I actually do care. I'm fine with them doing not white people. That's my stance, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm not ashamed to say it. But I'll tell you why. This is going to be... Oh, I call it equipping items, so equipping items. This isn't going to work. We're going to need to get... I mean, I can do another Unity package, I suppose. All right, install a game, brand new project. So note, this project builds on the hunger system tutorial, but contains all content it needs by itself. Please do not install this in the same project as the hunger system tutorial. All of these should be in a brand new project anyways, so yeah. And watch the video to be determined, and that should be fine. Okay. I'll tell you why I thought the elves don't speak Elvish. Unless I just read the subtitles and I didn't realize. It's possible that I read subtitles and I didn't realize I was reading subtitles. But the elves weren't speaking Elvish. And when they were talking to each other in Elvish... But I guess I can't remember the movies, too. I know they spoke a lot of Elvish then, but... I guess they would then switch to English, huh? For us viewers. Alright, never mind. Maybe that's not an issue at all. I should watch the movies again. Alright, what else do we need? We're gonna make... I just kind of go like this. Kind of go like this. Will that make duplicates? It will. And then delete this. Alright, I think that works. I think that means I made duplicate versions of everything. Yeah. But, there we go. Alright, so what are we doing here? We are going to load up this demo scene. Okay, apparently I didn't make... Well, something didn't happen. This is going to be green. This is going to be gray. Alright. My buttons. What's wrong with my buttons? Oh, Text Mesh Pro. How do I install... Do I have to install? I'm missing Text Mesh Pro. What if I do UI Text Mesh Pro? Oh my gosh, it's hot. Nope, it didn't prompt delete. Alright. Window Text Mesh Pro. Import essential resources. Import. Oh my lordy lord, it's hot and I'm drinking coffee. Third episode released. That's the one streaming service I have, actually. Actually, I probably have Apple too, but I don't watch that. They don't have much stuff. I don't watch any TV, actually. But, hey, how come it's not working now? Alright, let's, I still want these buttons to work. What's the dealio, yo? Let's load the scene up again. There we go. Okay, just needed to do that. Now we should be fine. All right, that works. So we are going to expand this. We're going to expand this, and to do this, what are we going to do here? What are we doing? Let me talk it through because I didn't pre-plan anything. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn about the items game module. Learn how to create items in the inspector in your project, set up items using the game module system. Learn how to bring those into a game in various methods, perhaps. And then learn how to equip those onto a player in a way that lets you see the item equipped. So I think we're going to use this primitive here because as much as I want people to buy my humans, you know, if I don't have to force people to buy my humans, that's probably okay. Although it looks better with the humans. All right. So maybe I could show both. I don't know. We'll see about that when we get there. So let's start by... Ooh, my laptop, my work laptop just turned off, and I didn't realize how loud the fan was. Holy cow. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, everybody, as the entrance fee to the show. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to create a new folder here, and we're building up on the hunger system. And so we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this items, similar to conditions and stats. And inside here, we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this weapons, and we're going to call another one called shields, and another one we're going to call, what are we going to call this? Amulets. And I'm going to actually remove the plural, so it's just amulet, shield, weapon. And we're going to create a few things here. So first, we're going to create game modules, create item object, and we're going to call this sword. Interesting. I think this is an old to do. All right, and then I'm going to create a shield. So again, create game modules, create item object, and we're going to call this shield. And we're going to copy this one by duplicating it, and call this one gold. We'll just call this star amulet, and create a new UID. If you do duplicate, you have to create a new UID, and I'm going to move this over to the amulet. But one thing to point out is that right now the star amulet is an item object of the type shield, but when we move it over here to the amulet section, that's now a type of amulet. So the type of the item object, similar to all the other game modules, is the folder that it is in. So there you go. So now we've got 3 item objects. What are these going to do? Well, let's look at the inspector here for the sword. So we have a few panels here. We've got our item attributes, which we don't have any attributes created yet. We'll do that in just a second. We have our stats, and these are the stats that we've modified by this object when it's equipped. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could use that list in a different way too if you really wanted to, but loot items refers to the loot system, which we're not going to get into for this tutorial. And the inventory panel refers to the inventory module, which again, we are not going to get into on this tutorial. There is a tutorial on setting up the inventory system. That's pretty in-depth, so check that out if you're curious about that. And we have our dictionaries, which of course are the catch-all for all sorts of data you want to add to your thing. So let's check out the stats first and see what stats we have. We have might, wisdom, and metabolism. These are set up from our previous tutorial, but we're going to need an attack and a defense and maybe a damage stat as well. So let's just set those up here. We're going to go into the main stats here. I'll create a new stat, and we're going to call this attack, and we're going to duplicate that and call it damage, and we're going to duplicate that and call this armor. And for armor, create a new UID. For damage, create a new UID. And let's set these up. So the attack is going to be something that can be modified, but can't be trained. Damage can be modified, but can't be trained. And armor can be modified, but can't be trained. Now, armor is going to start at 0 points. Attack, we're going to start at 1. This is going to be like the number of rolls of a die, and the damage is going to be the amount of damage you can do per roll. So we're going to set that as 0. In fact, actually, we'll set this as 0 as well. So all of these are just set at 0. They have no minimum, no maximum. I mean, I guess they can have a minimum of 0, but I don't think we're going to need to get into that here. And so we are set there. So we're going to go back to our weapon, go to our sword, and now the list has these new modifiable stats here. And so we're going to add... Oh, side note to me, I did want to organize these by type too in this list, but that's something to do another time. So we're going to add our attack, and we're going to add our damage as well. And this sword is going to be a 1d4, no, 1d6. A 1d6, so this sword can do anywhere from 1 to 6 damage. When you equip this, it's going to modify the player's attack and the player's damage by these values. Hi, Corey. Welcome to the stream. A prototype style humanoid to include in my packs. What's interesting about that is what I really want to have. I want to have, and maybe this will be part of the new system, I want to have a actual character that I can just give for free, like a dummy. Like imagine a crash test dummy, or in some games they have those little straw dummies that you can swing your sword at. Imagine a straw dummy, and literally that's the dummy, the stand-in, and I can use that for everything. And I think that's what I want to do with the new humanoid system that we're working on, and that's one of the things I need to do tonight or this weekend to check on the status of a test we're doing to see if this idea works. We would be able to create new humanoids pretty easily that work with all the armor and stuff, and that would be a cool addition and something I could provide for free to people. That would just be a fun thing to have in projects, because it would just be a fun little kind of creepy dummy that moves around and can fight. And then I could use that for all of them. So it's a good idea, Corey. Definitely a good idea. Holy hot oven, Batman. All right. All right, so now we've got that. And we're going to do another thing. We're on the shield. On the shield here, we're going to go to our stats, and we're going to add our armor. And we'll just make this a base value of 4. And our amulet, our star amulet, the star amulet itself is not going to have any stats. Instead, we're going to use the item attribute system to make the star amulet do something magical. And in this case, so now we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this item attributes. And if we want to be clear, we can call this item objects. And in our item attributes, we're going to create a folder called buffs, or we'll create one called suffix. And in our suffix here, we're going to create game modules, create item attribute, and we're going to name this what's a term for, yeah, it's super hot. Didn't you know? Jeez, holy hot. Actually, today is not as hot as the past few days. It was up to 110 to 115 Fahrenheit for the past 4 days, Monday through to Thursday. Today it got up to only like 104. I don't know what's outside right now. Right now it's 96. 96. It was 103 earlier today, but it's 96 now. So much cooler than 114, which is what it was on Monday. And it was like 110 for the next 3 days. So yeah, it's hot, and I've got the AC off, or actually it's set to like 86 or something. So if it gets over 86, it's going to turn on. Screw the power grid. So what's the term? If I want poison resistance, I could say of poison resistance. See, I didn't get to finish. Thank you, Shadowed Souls Studios. But I didn't get to finish the prompt. This is going to of enchanted waters. This is going to make our resistance to poison go up. So I guess we'll be literal. We'll say poison resistance. Okay. So the point of what we're doing here is in the demo here we can get poisoned, and that takes down our health. And what we want to do is when we add a star amulet of poison resistance to our equipment list, we want our resistance to poison to go up. And that is, though, a something that we don't have here. So, yeah. Okay, so of poison resistance, and that is going to be an attribute that can go onto any object, any item object, but in this case we're going to put it on the star amulet. And in that we have a human name. We're going to call this of poison, or we're going to use name, so we'll just click this to use the name. Yeah, there you go. And name order what? Now name order, let's see. Yeah, so the name order of 1 means it will show up to the right of the item name. So if this was a prefix like golden, then I'd put this maybe -1, and then it would be a golden item name. But in this case, we want it to be at the end, so we're going to put name order of 1. So it'll be the item name of poison resistance. So there you go. And in the stats here, we're going to modify one value. We're going to modify our... actually, you know what? Let's not do poison resistance. Of diminished metabolism. Since we already have that set up, we're going to call it diminished metabolism. We'll use the name there too. See, I'm making it easier on myself because I don't want to have to set up a whole new poison resistance thing. All right, so diminished metabolism. What a word. What a two-word. So we're going to affect the metabolism. And for our, let's see, what was the, let's press play. I can't remember now if metabolism higher is worse or something. So we're going to look at our player. Oh my lord, what the heck? What are we missing scripts for? How are we missing scripts? Oh, I know. Because I moved them all here. Oh, damn. All right. I don't know which order they were in. All right, let's do this smartly. Actually, okay, I'm gonna have to quit this project. I feel sweat dripping down my armpits. Gross. Because of reasons. True. Truer words were never spoken except the times that they were. So we're going to call this test, create project. So I want to see the same order. I'm hoping if I put these scripts back in the same order, they'll have all their settings still. And this is happening because I duplicated the scripts, changing the GUIDs, and that unlinked them. So that's why this is happening. I just need to reset it. No big deal, just time. All right, we are going to import package, custom package, export, import, export, import. I'm going to bring this over here. That's a good point, Corey. Let's see what it is first. I like the list view. I don't like the grid, the icon view. All right, demo tutorials, hunger system. We have to install that, import that, and load up our scene. And look at our, sure, I'll import those. All right, look at our player. All right, now over here, I will go to, this is the player. All right, well, player data viewer, player setup, and it didn't work there, and hunger level. All right, so 6530, starting stats. So it's just all the, okay, I see. We're just, so all our starting stats. Oops, player. It's going to be the 6 that we already had. So we had damage. No, not damage. Hit points max. Why isn't this? Oh, I see. I'm expanding it on the other window now. All right, so we had, where's my player? All right, so we have 6 of these. Expand them all out, but we can't expand them all. Okay, so hit points, points max, might. I want to do it in the exact order as the other one, so there's no confusion. Hunger level. metabolism, and these are set to 1, 130. I know in the last tutorial I actually showed multiple ways of bringing in the stats, and I can't remember if this is the way that's used in the end, but alright, we'll have to add the other ones later as part of the tutorial, so I'll do that later. Alright, stats conditions, those are fine. Game time object is a game time object in the scene. But game time object is missing a script as well. What script is that missing? It's missing the game time object script. Game time object. Alright. Alright, that should be set. We didn't change anything there, so move that here, and we should then be all good to go. Okay, let's press play again, see what happens. Now if we view our player, we should see, okay, metabolism here is 1, and hunger level is not going up. Why is that the case? Or it should be going down. Let's see. Is it just broken, or is it working here? So now I'm going to first play on this one and see in the viewer. Yep, this one's going down. So I must be missing something else. What am I missing? Let's see if this is working. Argument cannot be null. I bet the buttons are no longer attached properly. Nope, that's working. Player get poisoned. Alright, well, let's dig in. Is this loading? Okay, it's not loading. Oh, it did load. Alright, well, that's not helpful. Get UID. Alright. Create a new UID. Why is it creating a new UID? Maybe I just need to look at all these. I wonder if by copying them I lost UIDs or something. Alright, press play again. I'm gain hungry. Effects periodic. Let's look at gain hungry. Conditions constant gain hungry. Missing the stat. That would do it. Hunger level. Famished is going to affect your might. Is it? Now I'm going to look at the other ones. Conditions, constants. Famished affects hit points. Gain hungry is hunger level. Hunger. Ah, look at that. Okay. Yeah, since I copied everything, all the links got screwed. It's my fault. So might and wisdom. And -3, -5. Delete those. Okay, starving is might and wisdom. -5, -8. Delete those. Debuffs. Poison. Poison. There's metabolism. 5. Okay. And do any of these have missing stats? They do. Hunger level is modified by metabolism proficiency. Okay, so this is part of the question I was trying to ask earlier. You can from one project to another, huh? Oh, I didn't know that. But I think it wouldn't work because the GUIDs changed and the objects that I'd be copying. So I think it still wouldn't work, unfortunately. But I didn't know you could copy between projects. That's good to know. So this is part of the issue that we are trying to look at, actually. Now that I think about it, it looks like my window's a little bit too far over. Metabolism is the thing that modifies hunger. So you've got your hunger level, and it's going to be going down, but it's modified by your metabolism. So if your metabolism is greater, then your hunger level goes up. So yes, so that's that. That's important. Okay. Metabolism does not look like it has issues. Main, let's see. All right, none of those. So we should be good now. Let's press play. I should probably save the scene as well. And we're looking at our hunger level. Indeed, going down. Good. All right. So save. All right. And I'm just going to minimize this for now. I'm going to check my other Unity project to make sure. Oh, it's only 26% of the way uploaded. All right. Oh, wrong one. All right. So now we can move on. All right. So now we know that metabolism higher is bad. And so in our suffix here of diminished metabolism, we're going to call this, to your point earlier about making the I'm looking for the comment now. I can't find it. Is it just recent? Oh, yeah. To Corey's, it was recent. I was looking further back. To Corey's comment, we'll call this of Sech, I guess diminished hunger is fine. So yeah, we'll keep it as diminished hunger. All right. So your metabolism proficiency is what modifies your hunger level. So if we want to decrease our proficiency, we're going to put -0.5 or -5. That should, at the default level, cut our proficiency in half, which should make it so that we get hungry slower. So there you go. All right, so we'll keep it at that. So that's our thing there. If we go back now to our item object and amulet, we can look at our item attributes here. And this shows us the types, and we turn this on. We're always able to add the item attribute ourselves manually, even if it's not listed here. We can always manually add that via code. So we don't have to play with this section if we don't want to. But if we're going to be using the loot system, which automatically adds potential attributes to items that it creates, we would want to populate this and say, yes, it can use a suffix and specifically of diminished metabolism. That way, if you have various suffixes or other item attribute types that a specific item can't use, then you'd be able to control this by just turning them on and off. So in this case, we're basically telling the system, any automated system that creates item objects with potential item attributes, i.e. the loot system, that it can have the suffix of diminished metabolism. It doesn't mean it always does. It just means that it's a possible attribute. So there we go. Otherwise, the amulet itself doesn't do anything to anything. But we could say it adds 1 armor. So let's add 1 armor as well when we increase that. All right. So the next step is, when we play the game, we have this player data viewer, and we want to add the new stats to this. I guess I'll keep the namespace as hunger system. Or maybe we'll make this equipping items. All right. Oh yes, I'm like where's all the code? And then so it be the editor, player data viewer editor. That's where all the fun code is. Here we are. So we're gonna add stuff here. Oh, maybe they'll automatically show. Let's see. Maybe we don't need to do that step. So now when we press play, we don't see them yet because we haven't added them to the player yet. So in our player setup here, we're going to add our new starring stats. And so we have our new stats of armor, which is going to be 0. And our attack and damage, which are also both 0. So now when we press play and we look at the data viewer, we should see our new stats right here. Our metabolism is 1, final stat is 1. All right, this is good. So now when we get poisoned, let's just see. When we get poisoned, our metabolism goes up to 6. Holy shit, now we're hungry. And our eating food will bring our hunger level back to max. Okay, we are good there. Ring of Ravenous Might. Oh, that's a good idea, Corey. I like that. Ravenous Might. I like it. Does the term ravenous relate to ravens at all? Or do ravens relate to the term ravenous? Because if so, then that ring would have to look like a raven feathers or something. Anyways, so we are good there on the starring stats. So the next step is to actually make something happen. So we're going to start by equipping this amulet. The amulet is not something we're going to visually show in the scene. So we're going to start with that, and then we'll do the visuals for the sword and the shield after that. So what we need to do is open up our player script. And under our game modules list here, we're going to add public game item object list, and we're going to call this equipment. There we go. And we're going to create another one called inventory. So equipment's going to be the things that we have actively equipped, and the inventory is going to be things that we're holding, of course, but we don't have actively equipped. And so, oh no, that's too bad. Oh well. I was hoping, I like ravens. I like crows actually, but ravens are pretty close. Crows are just really smart birds. So then we're going to, up here, we're going to say I have inventory. And if we look into this, I have inventory does not need anything there, anything special, which is nice. There we go. And then we have our inventory here. So now we have inventory and equipment. So like the other, do we need tick? Let's see. Equipment.tick. We have to add tick, I think. Yeah. All right. So like the other ticks, we're going to add a tick here. And we are also going to add, so we don't forget, in our get other levels. Oh, other modification level to add range, and we're going to add in our equipment dot get modifications. Whoops. Get modification levels. And so this is going to go through all of our equipment and get all the modification levels on all the equipment. And of course, each one of those is going to get its modification levels from all the attributes added to those equipment, those item objects as well. So this is basically one line that just does a whole lot of stuff. And we're going to add that to our get other levels, which is how we link up all the stats together. Ring of Stoner Rage. Well, I hope that the Ring of Stoner Rage is satiated by the Taco Bell salsa packets, or salsa. We'll just say salsa packets, or hot sauce packets. I guess hot sauce is not salsa, so hot sauce packets. I use sauce packets. It's been a while since I've actually referred to them, but you know what I mean. The Taco Bell sauce packets, yeah, sauce packets. They satiate the stoner rage. All right, so we should be good there. We now need a method to equip an item, and okay, let me think. This is actually going to be done. So we need a method to take an item in, but we also need a method to create the item. Now we can create a I mean, there's two ways of doing it. So there's transfer and add. And transfers a created object with all of its attributes and everything. It just makes a clone. Where add adds a vanilla version. So if we added a vanilla version of something that has attributes, the attributes would be stripped. So we need to add I guess we'll do it at the bottom here. We're going to say items and equipment. So we'll do, I guess, yeah. So we're going to do a transfer one. So public game item object transfer or take item object, and we're going to pass into this one a game item object to take, or we'll call it item to take. And for this, we're going to say equipment dot transfer. And transfer has a few things. So we're going to pass in our object. Whoops. We're going to come on, show it to me. Show it to me. No, come on, pop-ups. I'm trying to demonstrate something here. Oh, I should probably zoom in the same time. All right, sorry about that. All right, so our transfer is going to take in an object to transfer. I have stats new owner. We're going to set that to be this player. And distinct is going to be false by default because, you know, can we have multiple? In this case, I suppose we can. I'm not going to handle that in this way because really it's going to be a question of replacing a thing of a type, and maybe we'll set that up later. Yeah, we'll probably set that up later. But the distinct can be false. We're going to keep that false. So the object is going to be item to take, and then the new owner is going to be this. And this actually returns a game item object, I think. Does it? It does. So instead of all this, we're just going to do that. So now when we take the item object, we're simply going to transfer that into our list. All right. And at the same time, we'll do a add item object, which is going to be add. And an add, we're going to get an UID. Yeah. Item UID and item UID. Okay, so in this case, we're going to be passing in the UID of the item and the new owner. This is going to be a vanilla copy of the item object when we do add item object. So that's fine when you're like, let's say you want to, and actually, let's change this. This is not going to be take. It's going to be equip item object, because we're transferring it to the equipment. And we're going to change this item to equip to be more literal there. And this is going to be equip item object as well. But in this case, we're item to equip UID. All right, I'll have to specify that in the demo, that this is a clones the object, creates vanilla copy version of the object. And just to be more clear, put that here. Okay, and that there. So equip item object, where you pass in the game item object, you're going to equip that as a clone. You're going to be transferring that. And if you do equip item object and you pass in a UID, you're just going to be getting a vanilla version of it. And so this is going to be for the equipment. So equipment, and then we're going to do other things for the inventory as well. And of course, this is something that if you're doing your own project, you might have additional code to go along with these processes. I'm not sure. That's up to you. And so now public game item object take item object is going to be, yeah, I'm just going to copy these actually. Take item object and take item object, and we're going to call this item to take and item to take UID, and this is going to be inventory. All right, so actually I'm going to rearrange these. I'm going to move this one up here because technically, if we think about it, and we should think about it from time to time, we need to equip from our inventory. We're not going to equip directly from the world. That is something that we could do. We could code for that, but in this project we're going to say, hey, you can only equip stuff that's in your inventory. And well, I guess yeah, I guess this is fine actually. So we'll never actually equip a vanilla version. Because it's already going to be in our inventory, therefore we're going to be a transfer from one to another. And if we dig into transferring, I believe transfer just creates a clone, but it doesn't destroy it. So that's what we need to do. So when we equip it, we're going to transfer that, and we'll say var game item object. Whoops. And then we will say inventory.remove game item or item to equip, and then return game item object. All right, and so remove basically goes and removes all of those. Oh, that's not what we really want to do. Transfer. I feel like I feel like this is not as robust as it needs to be. Don't want to second guess my previous self, but it seems like what I really want to do, you know, if I've got 3 swords, all with different stuff, this won't actually remove the exact sword necessarily. So what I think I need to do I need to have a remove exact match or something like that. Let me play with that. Let's see what we do. We public void remove exact match game item object game item object and what is this going to do? Removes an object with the exact UID plus any and all item or game item attributes attached, right? Because the UID only refers to the object. In the end, interesting. So yes, I'm where I'm moving to Shadowed Soul Studios is if it's transferring the object from one inventory to another, it would remove it as well. So I want to create a method to remove an exact match, but then once I have that, I can create a method from a game object list that would be like transfer to, and so you could say or transfer from to or something like that, where you can transfer from this to a different one, pass in the other one, and it would transfer it over and also remove the exact match. But what I'm thinking is that it's not enough to look for the item attributes, because you might have custom stuff on your dictionaries that have different things, like let's say wear level, which means, you know, the more you use an item, the wear level could go up. So yeah, so I need to make an addition. What I need then, just to talk it out loud, what I really need is that each game item object, when you add it, when you create one, basically, add, yes, right here where you add a new game item object, that will create itself another UID, essentially, that is an in-game one, an in-game UID, because I don't think I have that now. Game item object. It automatically has a UID because of these things, right? Oh, actually, it doesn't have one because it hasn't needed to have one. Let's see. Full name has item object. Why do I need that? I don't know. Object name, object type, blah 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 UID, get UID. This will return a UID which can be serialized. Okay, good. So it does have a UID. Does it have a UID? No. Okay. So it doesn't have, that's the UID for the that. And so what we need then, all right, I need to go to the main project here. I can't do that here. And this is an update for the whole thing. And so make this wider, stats and skills. I'm getting hungry. So I'm going to start doing this. I might not finish it before I stop the stream, but while I'm thinking about, so we need to basically update the, I'd still call it stats and skills from when I first started it, but we basically need to update this. So we're going to give game item object is going to get a game UID or something that can be serialized and will be created when you create the object, or if it doesn't exist already for any project that is already in existence. And then we can use that to do the exact matching. So if you do have anything in your custom dictionaries, those would be, if you've got two items of the exact same type with the exact same attributes, but different dictionary values, the correct one would be used or removed or whatnot. All right. So we're going to do that here. This is the main project. And we're going to have to add this to the demo scene as well. So probably loot and inventory is where we will do this. Let's just make sure the demo scene didn't break. I'm always worried that it's going to break. Open lucky treasure box. All right. So if you haven't seen, by the way, the demo scene for the inventory, this is it. It's very bare bones, but you've got your equipment stuff here. So this is where we're going to do that transfer, and this transfer as well. So when we equip something, and when we unequip, we'll do that. And then in the tutorial we're going to ignore this inventory system. We're going to code it ourselves, but for the purposes of testing, we'll use it here, I suppose. All right, so let's do this. Game item object. In a writer, and so all right. Why? Oh, let me let it do its thing before I copy and paste. Boom, 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 boom. Did it do its thing? I guess it did. Nope, there it is. Nope, it's still doing that. All right, there we go. So we're going to call this game UID and private game UID, and this is going to be get game UID. It's going to be similar to this, I suppose. In game ID for this, get game UID is going to return game UID. Missing the underscore. Okay. Make that proper property. I think these aren't proper because it wasn't before and now it's just too late, or it could be changed, but I don't want to change it because it could mess with people's scripts too much, so we'll leave it. I hope that's okay with everybody. Okay, so now we've got a game UID, and that means we have to do a couple things. So first, on tick, we'll do initial setup, complete. Let's see, check dictionary. So this is where we're going to do check game UID, and this is going to be the check game UID. If it doesn't have one, it will create one here. So if game UID, actually, if string.is null or empty, game UID, and return. So if it's not null or empty, then we'll return otherwise. Game UID equals get UID, not get UID, create UID, new UID. What do we do down here? Somewhere I've got a method to create a new UID. I mean, I suppose also technically does this component have a UID? Is that something? I'm not sure. UID. Okay, this is create UID. It's in the scriptable objects, that's why. Okay, so we'll just do this. Okay, so new good to string. All right. All right, so this is generally not going to happen, or actually we'll do create game UID, and we'll make this one, oops, and this is just going to do this. All right, so this is only going to happen if people haven't added this yet, so if you already have an active project, but otherwise in the constructor here, we're going to create the game UID. That's that. So now that should have a game UID. Perfect. So then in our game item object list, find our remove methods. So remove exact, and this is going to be a string game UID. The rest is not needed. And it's going to remove so we're going to say list.remove list.where x.game UID equals game UID dot remove. Okay, I think it's going to be remove dot, yeah, remove all, maybe. Can't remember the link for remove. All right, let's do it a different way then. I can always change it later if I remember. What is it? List dot. That's where it's remove dot first or default maybe. X dot UID game UID equals game UID. Oh. Okay, here we go. Object to remove is that if object to remove equals null, return. Otherwise, we'll say list.remove object to remove. Nope, that's not going to work because this. Oh, I guess it will. Okay, so that should work then. Gosh, that took longer than I thought it would. All right, so we're getting the first one by that GUID, and then we're removing that specific one. Oh, interesting. So remove exact is the better. I mean, it's all the same. And if you've just got, you know, if you have a bunch of herbs, then it doesn't really matter. Remove one herb, you know. All right, so remove exact. Okay, now that we have remove exact, we have transfer. transfer. And underneath here, we'll create a new one called public game item object transfer to, and we're going to get the game item object transfer for object, and I have stats, new owner, and equals null, and bool distinct equals false. And then I think we need a new thing. I have inventory transfer to. Okay, let's see if this works. So first we can check for distinct. So if it's distinct and transfer to dot contains it, transfer to dot contains has. Oh, so it's not IM, it's going to be game item object list. There we go. Okay, so if transfer to contains exact, we have to do a new contains. Oh, interesting. No, it can't possibly contain that. So if it contains another, yeah, if it contains another thing of that same thing, then we can't. So that's fine. It won't check for the exact. It just means like if you're transferring a widget and you can only have one widget of any type, then you can't transfer to that. Okay, that's fine. And then from this to, so it's going to be give to. So because really in the script you'd be like inventory, no, I guess it transfer to is fine. And it uses the same terminology. Transfer to. Okay. It would be like saying inventory transfer to equipment, this equipment, you know. So in a way, we should put transfer to first. So it'd be like transfer to equipment, object, new owner, etc. Okay. So then we just need to do transfer to dot transfer. Transfer object and new owner and distinct. So I guess we can do this. Yeah, we don't. Okay, how about this? We'll say if transfer to equals null, then return null. So this will do the distinct check for us. Right? Because okay, how about this? Even var transferred object equals that. If transferred object is null, then we return null. In other words, we are going to try to transfer it, If we couldn't transfer it, then we're going to return null. Yeah, because that means we most likely the distinct that this happened. That's basically what that means. But if we didn't return null, then we get to remove exact of transfer object. All right. And we can make another remove exact here. And this is going to take in a game item object. And this is going to basically remove exact game item object dot game UID. All right. And okay. All right. So now we are using that here, and then return transferred object. All right. So now we've got a transfer to method. That should work, I suppose. Suppose we need to try it. Do it live. Screw it, we'll do it live. So let's see about updating this. I need to remember to update the support docs and the package itself. All right. So now let's see what happens when we let's press play. When we've got our well, really open Lucky Box. When we do this, what happens? Dropping. So, pausing it. Give. It didn't come up. Panel Manager 162. That's debug message. All right, give held object. Aha, so this is where we can change something here. Because right now, items, this is a game item object list. It's doing transfer the item held to the new owner. And then it's saying remove item. So I don't necessarily want to do that here because this is like an intermediary step. So maybe I won't do transfer to here because this will make a copy and that's fine. So we won't do that on this step, okay? So we can move in, and then once we're here, the drop here to equip is here. Equip button got clicked. Okay, got clicked. If we can equip the item, this is still using the inventory system. The inventory system has this on-screen item middleman, essentially, and so I'm not going to mess with that. First of all, it's fairly complicated. Second of all, we need the middleman, so it's not going to use that. So, do we have another demo scene that we could use for this? Yes, we can use this. So, right now, the toggle does this stuff. Stats, demo, player, controller. Oof. I can do this a better way, I think. Let's see. Let's see about updating this then. So where are the two things that happen when we... I'm going to say this. Equip. I think whenever I come into this, I always get confused because it just says the objects without the equip. All right. So equip, we do toggle item and display flavor item object. Display flavor. Is that not on the right thing? Stats. Oh, there we go. Display flavor item object. And instead of passing this, we're going to pass in an item object. Item object. And we can just do this. Display flavor item object .uid. All right. Now, this is really just a quality of life thing for me. Hopefully I'll be able to populate that here. I actually don't know if I can. Yes, okay. So this is going to be a sword. Is this the right one? D2F. D2F. UID D2F. Okay, it is. All right, so that's helpful. We're going to do the similar for these. Shield and helmet. All right, and now for toggle item, we're going to basically do something very similar. Okay, so this is not some. I wouldn't actually suggest to anyone set up their game like this. But for this demo scene, it's just gonna basically prove that the code we just wrote works. It's dark in here. I haven't turned my lights on. It's time to turn my lights on. It's getting too dark. Hurts my eyes. And I'm sure my lights are not bad for the power situation. All right. So we're going to do the same thing here as we did there. It's the helmet, yes. All right. All right. All right, let's just make sure it works. Because we really didn't change any of the nuts and bolts yet. Just a couple of the plumbings, I suppose. I might be using, maybe it's supposed to be short sword. Huh. Okay, does sword not have flavor text? It does have flavor text. Oh. I don't know why it wasn't working before. Let's try again. Huh, okay. All right, so now at the start we're going to add these to our inventory. So going back to our player control here, each player get active player, demo players, stats demo player is going to be I have inventory, and we're going to say public game item object list inventory, and we will do one for equipment. Oh, we already have that. Okay. Good. So we just need the inventory, and then on start, public list of item object starting inventory items, new list item object, and then setup. Populate inventory, public void, or actually private void, populate inventory. Then for each of our var player in where is it? Demo players. For each var item in starting inventory items, player.inventory.add item. So this is basically going to .uid add a vanilla version of all of those to each player. All right, so let's make sure we set up that. This is, again, just one way to pre-populate things. You'd probably do it another way, I suppose, in your project. There are many ways to go about doing these things, as long as Unity doesn't crash. Good. I don't know what is taking so long. Speaking of things that are taking so long, this is only 55% of the way done. To be fair, it is very large. Like 5 gigs, but still. All right, so now back to our, where's our demo control? Demo players. Starring inventory items. We have a sword. We have a basic helmet and a shield. All right. So now we should have those, and let's look at demo players. Let's just press play, make sure that those go in. Inventory has 3 things. All right, so we've got our inventory there. Perfect. So now when we do our toggle here, what we're really going to be doing is moving the inventory back and forth. So toggle item is here. Let's see. So we do this UID. Not sure why I need this. We'll keep that there, but under here we'll do a new version. So we will say if active player dot has item object UID. Oh, interesting. So for the purposes of this demo scene, we will only have one ever. So we're just going to keep it like this. Yeah, the demo scene is not meant to be fully robust or like an actual game. It's just supposed to demonstrate basic things, but there's so many ways to connect the dots, right? All right, so if we have the item object, and this is looking for the equipment contains the UID, and this is where we're going to need contains, yeah, I mean, I guess it contains exact doesn't really make sense because you would have it and you would know where you got it from. All right, so if the active player has the item object, then we're going to say active player dot equipment dot transfer to and active player dot inventory okay, maybe we do need to do it slightly differently. We need to find the object. So if we don't move to equipment UID, actually, if we move to equipment, then we return. Otherwise, move to inventory UID. All right. And we will create these. All right. All right. Okay. If active player dot inventory dot contains a UID return. So if, yeah, there we go. Return false. So if the inventory doesn't contain, so move from transfer from inventory to equipment. We're going to be very literal here. Transfer from equipment to inventory. All right. So if the active player's inventory doesn't contain this, then we're returning false, and then we'll do this version instead. But if it does contain that, then we will say active player dot inventory dot transfer to active player dot equipment var item game item object equals active player dot inventory dot get UID. This should just get the first, and not, yeah, first or default. And for the purpose of this, it's just one item going back and forth. We don't have to worry about what if they have two swords or anything like that. All right, transfer to that game item object, and new owner is going to be active player, and return true. So I can make one other helper method here, private void transfer from to string UID game item object list from and game item object list to, and this is basically going to say, actually not this, is going to be a game item object active player, not even active player, it's just going to be from, whoops, from dot transfer to game item object Okay, does that make sense? So then here we're going to say transfer this from equipment to, whoops, from active player dot equipment to active player dot inventory. And this one does have the check, so we're going to do that differently. But here we will do this and do it from inventory, get that. So from inventory to equipment, and then return true. Okay. So if we can transfer from inventory to equipment, then we do that. Otherwise, we do the opposite, and then we don't do those rest. Okay. Is there anything else I missed in the stuff I just deleted? Add item object and remove item object. Oh. And let's see if it works. I'll just comment this stuff out for now, and we'll see if it works as expected. By the way, I've been rambling for a while. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you being here and hanging out. All right, come on, press play, press play, press play, press play. Play, 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 play. All right, so we have our inventory, and our list has 3 things in it, and our equipment has 0. We are in our first player. Yes. Equip the sword. All right, so the sword is removed from the inventory here and put into the equipment. And if we remove it, is it put back? It is. So now we're going back and forth. Now our stats aren't increasing. I thought that might be the case, and that is, wait a minute, did it increase? Did it increase and just not decrease? I think. Okay, attack 110, so equip helmet, armor class goes up, but it doesn't go down. Okay. Why is that? This in the remove. I mean, yeah, I guess we could have moved this transfer to the player. That would have been a more appropriate fit for it, I guess. Player. I'm confused that one of them is commented out, the other one isn't. And I think recently there was a Discord conversation about this because that confused someone else too. And it confused me. Okay, well, I think I need to do active player. Active player dot, oops, yeah, okay. Active player dot set targets dirty. Game item object. What's this taken? Oh, modification level. Dot modification. That's item object dot modification level. All right, let's see if that works. $87 out now. That's not bad. That's a good temperature. I think that's what it's almost like that in here. Almost time to open the windows. All right, press play. Let's see if that works. Basically, we're trying to tell the stats that, hey, you need to update yourself. So anything that these modify, there we go, are now updated. Because now when we toggle that, we're saying, hey, armor class, you're modified by this, so you need to update yourself. There you go. Perfect. So these all work. Now we just need to see powerful. Does powerful work? Yes. So to talk through what powerful does and why this is good that it's doing this. So our sword now is in our inventory. It's moving back and forth between the stuff, between the inventory and the equipment. And the powerful attribute, if we look at our stats here, power sword, okay, increases the attack by 1. Damage is, let me just make sure I'm doing the right thing. Add powerful attribute to sword. Add powerful. I am attribute powerful. This is very boilerplate. Okay, stats demo player control. Power sword. Okay, so it should be adding 1 to attack, adding 4 to damage. So I don't know if those numbers worked, and adding 5 to might. So let's find out. That would imply that might should go up by 5, but it will be modified slightly, so it won't quite be 5. Attack should be 4, damage should be 5. Damage is only 4. Why is that? Might did go up. Interesting. Might's not going down though. Is that a bug on my part? It could be a bug on my part. Transfer from to game item object modification level. Modification levels. That's right. Okay, so this is going to be a list modification level. Oh, come on. Levels for each of our level in levels. Set dirty targets. Okay. So now we're not doing this anymore, I don't think. keep the old version too, I guess, since we're using it. And all right, skinny it up at the same time. All right, there we go. All right, so now we're passing the list of all the, that will now include the item attribute for appropriately. It was removing the attack and damage because the object was being removed, but it wasn't removing the might because I'm not sure exactly why. Actually, I have no idea. Let's see what happens now. All right, equipping sword. Add a powerful attribute. Okay, so now the might goes up and down. The attack and damage still don't seem correct though. If I do damage 0 on power sword, then we should see attack go up, but not damage. Oh, you know what? No, this makes sense. I bet that damage is always minimum of 1. Where's my stats? Base stats. Our skills, weapon skills. Demo files. Main stats, damage. That's why it's always a minimum of 1. So if it's 0, it's going to be 1. So this is adding 4. So it's working as expected. All right, so that is that. That's working as expected. Excellent. Always nice. Does this work if it's not in my equipment? It doesn't. It has to be equipped to do that, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to be cutting the stream off now because I'm going to eat some food and open the windows and enjoy the evening. Maybe I'll even go for a walk because it's 87 degrees out, and that's a great temperature to go for a walk in the evening. But yeah, this is a good update. I think for the folks who use the game modules, which should be more of you, there's actually quite a few now, which is nice. I like it. It makes me happy. The big update here is the transfer, or the transfer option. This is kind of reminding myself why I need to update. Game item object list. Transfer to. So the transfer to method, and let's just summarize this. Will transfer an exact object from this list to another game item object list and then remove it from this. All right. Add to source control. What the hell are you talking about? Isn't the asset store my source control for this? Actually, I haven't set up source control for this project. I need to set up plastic for it, but I haven't done that yet. Yep. So I need to do that. That's an action step for myself. So transfer to is a great update, as well as remove exact. It's not the first one. Removes an item based on the game UID, which is a unique code for game item objects to with an exact match. All right. All right. Yeah. So the transfer to and the remove exact are great updates. Update the demo scene. It works. No source control. I know. What kind of shenanigans is this? Game shenanigans. I know. I know. Okay. Jeez, guys, get off my back. No, I've been using plastic now for a couple projects. It's such a pain in the ass to set up. It was having issues, and there's some parts of it that are just not intuitive. But I did get it working, and there we go. So I'm gonna update the game modules package and the scripting docs because this is a great update. I'll do that probably later tonight as well. I now, of course, need to go back to not this one, but this project and update the scripts here and then use that new method, the new transfer to method and the exact method to get my item objects over. So I'll finish this tutorial as well, hopefully this weekend. We'll see how it goes. I don't have big plans this weekend, so yeah, I'm not visiting my friend. My friend is very sick, and so when I go visit my friend, I get nothing done because all we're doing is spending time, having some fun, making memories, as he calls them, for his kids, because he will not survive this, unfortunately. And yeah, but this weekend I am not visiting, so I will get stuff done here. Anyways, yeah, how's this other thing going before I sign off? 69.6% of the way. Epic Fantasy RPG Icons Places 1. Do you want to see what they are? This is the watercolor. See, I'm going to update these with this new links here. They're all set to go. The links are all set, and I just need to submit them now. But these ones are, here's a preview of the animals one, if you're into this kind of stuff. Epic Fan, you've seen that, cat. Epic Fantasy Animals, and it has all these animals in all sorts of things. A couple humans snuck in, and I don't want to go back and remove them, so c'est la vie. But they've got a lot of animals. Most of them are anthropomorphic. There's this rabbit here is not. It's just a rabbit. It's a cute little bunny. Then there's bears and other things that are anthropomorphic with armor. I really like this deer, by the way, or antelope or whatever it was. Anyways, hold on, mute. I had to cough. Some are not, others are. The style for all of these ranges from more painterly to realistic, but at the smaller size they look more realistic. But even this one looks still, illustrated. I was thinking of separating 2 packs out like that, but I decided not. This is just going to be the epic pack that has all the stuff, and then I'll keep separate ones for very distinct styles, like the watercolor one, because I am playing with some other styles. I'm working on perfecting, quote unquote perfecting, a sketch style that I like. So it's more like pencil sketch. Hopefully kind of like a rough pencil sketch, like the old school 80s and 90s pencil sketches in RPGs that you often see, as well as some other unique looks that I think are pretty compelling and would be pretty neat in some games. And at some point, I want to move these to include these in the demos, so that like instead of the demo port up just a button, you get some of these in the pack, but just as a little preview for folks and to make it better. But yeah, so that's that. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you another time.